Year 900. What happened? We have equality, we have good laws, we have inventions, we have a lot of things. The way the war begins, basically, is you see a black person and he's holding up a card. And they have a hole cut in the middle of it, a square hole. And it's a black card. And he's looking at people like this. He's taking the card and putting it to people and looking at it. And he's looking at the color of their skin. And if they're the same color as the black card, then they go through. And they're given money, cars, and stuff. Then he holds it up to the next person, and then the next person, and then the next person. And if you are black, flat black, or straight black, then you go on to get nice stuff. And there's watches and gold and all kinds of stuff. If you are not straight, black, and pure, then you are put into chains and or killed. Or put to work in a labor camp. This is how it starts. And some black person also writes about how delusion of the species. He is black and he expects all other people. He says, you must take a black wife to be your mate. If you mate with someone other than black, you can have, he writes this all down. If you have sex with someone that is not black, they are your servant, and you must kill the child if there is a child. That's what he writes down. Those are his laws. If no one of any light color can possess or own any kind of property, and will be in handcuffs and chains or in prison and forced to work if they are not absolute black. These are his laws for his country. Anyone in his country that is anyone other than black, if you're even lighter black, because he is black, so therefore if you are not black, then you are not pure. And I mean absolute black. And then you have no rights, you have no... If you are black, you are entitled to anything you want. You just take it in his country. If you feel like having a woman, his laws state that you may take any woman. I don't know, I think women are to be passed around between men, was his laws. Women have no rights, only men do. And I'm just stating what his laws were, basically. And no one can possess or own anything of value unless they are absolute black. And these are his laws. And he controls an area. He kills anyone with... No one of any white or light color can own a gun, possess a gun, or have a gun near them. And they have no right to live automatically. They're assumed guilty. Beating or lashing a white person is acceptable, and he suggests it as a good way to encourage work. This is how the war begins. 900, year 900. If you want to know what happened. So, anyway, he has control over Africa, or some parts of Africa. Anyway, he starts attacking other towns and other cities, because he feels like anyone that has any, his laws are, he has the right to take anything he wants, anywhere. It is his planet. It is the black planet, he says. This is not true, of course. And in fact, I tell him no. I'm like, well, there's me, Lucifer's star. And I have a problem with that. I was like, well, I have a problem with that. owner of Germany, America, technically China, and Mexico. Like I say, mwah, I love you. Those Mexican women. Oof, they melt my heart. What can I say? Anyway, Mexico, it was, it was mine, but I gave it to this gorgeous senorita Mexican woman. I was like, you're too amazing and beautiful. Anyway, so I gave it to her because she was amazing and beautiful and Mexican and feisty. Like I say, she was amazing. Anyway, though, everyone has their own country, basically. But pretty much Black African decides that they need more space and starts pushing into my Germany. Germany, most places don't mind being owned by me. China, like even China, it was mine, but I'm like, it's for Chinese, so cool. I mean, they have their own country, so it's not like I'm like my country. It's like I invested a lot of money in it. I love them very much. I helped them build tanks so they can defend themselves against other people like that black race. It's a black race. It's the flat black people. They consider all of the races to be subspecies. Like for some strange reason, he sees black as the only true race for some reason, or he did. In the year 900, he saw it as black was the first color, and everything but black is a different thing for some reason. I don't know, I guess you gotta go one way or another way. But anyway, though, he saw everything but black as black supposedly was his pure race, or the pure race, or the first race. And it's like, no, actually they weren't the first race at all. And China is actually a lot older. Orientals are way older than black people by a long, long ways. By 2 million years. Like black people are actually a brand new race, or newest. Anyway, they're not very old, actually. Chinese are actually older. Anyway, so I don't know what this guy's deal was, but because the black people are only like, I don't know, not that old really. Like I guess maybe he thought the Aztecs were black people or something because they weren't. I mean, I don't really get it. I don't know. Anyway, Chinese Orientals are actually the oldest race, as far as I know. Next to America is the youngest, but we're not really, we're mixture. So anyway, so that's how it begins. He takes a black card and he cuts a hole in it, a square hole, and he starts holding it up to people. And if you're black, then you go on and you can pick up a Rolex and go get in your nice car, and then later on you can take any wife you want within his country. Although he doesn't really own a country, that's the thing. He just kind of killed other people. So that's how it begins in year 900, or some point in time. That's how the war begins. And then they start attacking everyone else. So if you're wondering where it began, that's where it began. That was year 900 and the beginning of the war.